booze. Hold back a second. I went to go look in our fridge for booze, and I don't know, those was stouts, and stouts. I don't know why people have so many stouts. Stouts and sours, and things I like drinking tend to not be stouts and sours. So I grabbed a stout. Gotta get through it. What is this one? This is Ven Brewing. Yeah. Ven Brewing. I think this is Choco Nut. Got chocolate. The peanut butter cup stout. It says that, but it's choco nut, so I'm gonna guess with chocolate. I mean, it's dark stout. You're gonna get that for anything. Oh, it's only 6.5% too. That's nice. Must have to like 8 or 9. Gonna be no Michael today. He thinks he's getting sick, so he doesn't want to get me sick, which I definitely don't want to be sick. I didn't bring my water down though. I gotta grab that water. Alright. Got that now. I should probably post on Discord. Okay. So yeah, just me. Unjudgeably. I am but a simple woman. I see ministry, Mare. I click. Understood. So I actually opened up this shot first because I wanted to show something. When we were working on this one before, one of the biggest issues that was had was RAM. We were hitting towards the top end of it, a lot of unique models, and it was getting ready to crash just on opening. But it like, I don't know, I can't remember. But in the chats, and I believe brought it up on stream too, Kendo mentioned this little fancy thing you can get that I believe will force SFM to run through a Vulkan, like it'll use Vulkan but translate it to DirectX 9, and apparently it drops RAM usage. Well, you can't see the number down here. It was sitting at 3,000 or something upon opening. Now it's at 1,300. That's big. And as far as I can tell, like, there's no apparent performance hit. It was already, it doesn't make it run any better, but even then, yeah, this is running fine. I haven't just checked it for stability. I've just kind of opened it and played around with stuff. But as far as I can tell, that's helping a lot. Apparently there was a recent fan patch that let SFM go past its hard-coded memory. Thing is it can't. You can't just patch it because 32-bit means that addressing for your RAM is hello Harlan, is maxed out at 32 bits. That's the longest the address can be, is 32 bits long. The only way to patch that is to like go into like the raw code and find a way to like have it use some other bit for memory. But even then, I've heard of programs that were able to expand it somehow to a little bit more, to where there's like a little bit of overhead out of the 4 gigs that you can usually use. They're just about 4 gigs that'll sometimes give you back, but that's it. It literally is impossible. But by using Vulkan, it just uses memory management differently and doesn't store as much of it. And because SFM is an old piece of software, I don't really need it to be like running at top end because it's already well below what everything else can run at. So works pretty damn good so far. Being that with all the models that are here, only doubling the RAM usage, went from 500 I think on opening to no, it was like 600 or 700 to about under 1,400 for a full everything. Like, yeah, here's test number 2. I go to create model for, okay, so now this is loading the library. Normally, okay, I don't think it's going to prevent one of the errors that I have, which is not RAM usage. It's that individual libraries are too big, and that won't be fixed. That's an addressing problem. But even then, it just added like 70, 80. I think we were talking about the same thing. I misunderstood. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's not letting it go past hard-coded memory. It's not giving you a bigger cup. It's just emptying a bit more, so you have more space for stuff. And if I had to take a guess, Vulkan might be storing some of this stuff in like video memory or like the VRAM. It could be storing it on your page file. I would think if it was on your page file though, it would be like hardcore skipping some stuff. So I don't know how it's doing it. I'm not complaining though. So I haven't seen if it affects anything else like performance or stability. That's hard to test though. Like it's hard to test performance because it's all going to be like, okay, I can scrub here and I can watch the number, but it's always going to be objective. So, but still, I'm going to guess though that if I go and just, yeah, if I load this, it'll probably still crash. If it doesn't, yep, there it goes. That's a different error. It's just, I think it can't address its internally like that many libraries. So that one's annoying still, but the bigger one was the RAM. So pretty damn useful. And installing it is super easy. It's literally you take a single file, you drop it in your user mod bin folder, and you're done. We can't ask for it to be easier. Which the nice thing is then if you want to remove it, you just delete the file. It's not replacing anything. So it's really useful. But I'm not working on that shot today. I still think though that while it's nice that you can go above it, because the engine is still really crappy at maintaining a lot of stuff going on the screen at once, I wouldn't really recommend pushing that. Like, yeah, you could load like maybe 100 different ponies on the screen, like into the audience. It's probably not a good idea to, because you're still going to be hitting the limitations of just 32-bit software in general processing power, not in terms of storage limits. But there's just, yeah, this is 1,000. There's just some issues where say you're at 3,200, you're like, it's fine, I have like 150 megabytes left. But then you start rendering and everything you do, like every button you click, everything is stored on a history, and that history is stored in RAM. So just sitting here or clicking buttons will slowly creep your RAM up. So if you're doing some stuff and you start rendering, best time to do it is on a fresh restart of the software. But it might just do it where anything that's being done during render might increase RAM or something, and it might just have something that gives it like even for a quarter second to tip it over that edge, and you don't want that. So red is bad and this is all white, and I like that. Anyways, like I mentioned before, there is no Michael. He thinks he said that he hates chat, he hates horses now. YOLO Skibbity is the best, and like Bazinga, I think. So then he like ran off. So but also he's got a throat thing and he thinks he's sick, so there's that too. Oh, it's actually a pretty decent stout. Very peanut buttery. Anyway, we're going to see if we can add some animation to Fluttershy here. So she's supposed to be doing her little like talky talk thing. Michael was supposed to potentially put the new model in this, but I think trying to think if I could put the old or the new model in the clothing. Yes, I could. It would take a little bit. It would take 2 models. It's just there's the concern with if you make the body texture invisible, they can cause some shadow issues. But being it's the exact same model, typically here, should be fine. Let's see if we can make it work. Then we can just get it done. I don't like things sitting like 80% the way there. I just want to get it done and move on. I wanted to steal animation from another shot, and I can steal the animation and put it on the new models. I just can't steal any old lip syncing, but I have all the lip syncing from the Bring Out Your Dead things, so I think I should be able to steal something for that. As long as people can't like lip read, then they're gonna be like, what the hell is Fluttershy talking about? Unless I technically could look at her speech and oh, that seems like way too much work. I'd rather steal lip syncing. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna imply if people like start trying to figure out what she's saying, and she's talking about like throwing an Applejack's mom in the bin, well, that's on them. Let's get Fluttershy's. Lip sync her to random audio. Get the I Love Kicking Squirrels sync. Is that on the new models? Yeah, that's on the new models. But it's not just that. I would need to have somewhere around 8 to 9 seconds of talking. That's not long enough. Yeah, we'll see. Let's first get the model in here. Books. Yeah, just have her say, just have the word fuck on repeat. It's fuck. I actually kind of like that idea. All right, so we need to do if there's certain things I can't copy. I can't copy that. No wings. Actually, she's just standing here. So all they really need to do is just copy this. It's just about the same in most aspects. Damn it. Oh no, she double wing. All right, first we need to make sure everything gets locked to this one. But not the eyes. No. Other way around. This needs to be locked to this one. I do not want to be animating from the locked model. I want this one to just follow with. So this is going to be Fluttershy's, I'll just call it outfit. And then this will just be Fluttershy. Okay, now the outfit, eyes do not need to be locked. That can just be hidden. Wings do not need to be locked because they're going to be gotten rid of. No, that's wrong one. I was gonna say I didn't think I could do that with that one. So this is using closed wings. Oof. Tail. And scale. Why is her? Oh, I think I was trying to sneak the head on. That's why that's a little weird. Okay. The tail's gone. I can't get rid of her mane. The vest needs to stay on. The shoes need to stay on. The mane and the tail, they can't be disabled, which sucks on the old models. But what do you do? I don't need the wings anymore, so hidden. This is why I like the groups. It's really nice to be able to just say, like, I don't even want to think about these. Then all the rest, I think, has to be maintained. And I think it's perfect. It's not quite right because, like, her front hair isn't exactly the same, but I don't care. It doesn't need to be. Like, actually, the hair doesn't even matter. Oh, no, it does. And it matters kind of. The hair here and her hair on her head do need to be... Oh, I can't actually lock it yet. I'll have to work on those later. I can't really... I can probably scale them to 0. Just be careful. I'm worried that... Because I can't bake her mane on the other one yet. She's not moving. But I'm worried about forgetting about it. But if I leave them where they are, it's going to mess up the lighting because it still decides that it wants to do shadows and whatnot. but going to 0 causes other problems. So we're instead going to go just, let's go to 0.1. So it's just 10% or like 1/10 of what it was before. Okay. Which one is the back hair? Oh, that would be hair back. Okay, so it still causes a little bit of clipping up here, but that's fine. It's just the ones down here not matching, because if the shadow is going to be cast, but it's the exact same, like everything like that, it's not going to be a problem. Okay, and now I can't do this with every model, but for this specific one, it's doable. I haven't checked the eyelashes, actually. The eyes are going to be a little bit of a problem. I'll have to see. I might have to modify her model. Her tongue. Does not have a bone? Oh. Oh, hopefully you can't see the inside of her mouth very well. Wings, sure, I'll just add it. Flutters? How can you, it's her name. You can't have, I don't get that one. Tail. Tail's gone, but still, I will do it. Okay, so eyes are still going to be a bit of a problem. Wait, where's... Why am I... Okay, so her... I do have to move her head back. I was like, those look fine. But technically, it's a bit of a problem. I could probably scale her head down. I bet you I can get away with that. Yeah. I don't think that that matters because I'm more worried about the bones that are interacting with the clothing, like the boots and this, but the head is well above. Like if I, you can see the clothing there. If I drag the head around, I don't see any changes in her clothing. But if I do the same with neck, that does. So that is fine. I think this will work. She seems a little happy though. She's supposed to be kind of happy, but it's Fluttershy. Her idea of happy is like kind of more like that. Could you just scale down the head? Not quite. It's the issue is I don't think that they're all exactly pixel on all the like contours of the body, and so I do have to check here. Is there any wonkiness? Like that's not wonkiness that I need to worry about. The wonkiness I'm concerned about is because a model that has just this texture alpha out still casts a shadow. If the model is for some reason just a little above the surface, it might cause a dark spot. Normally if it goes just a teeny tiny amount over, SFM will ignore very, very small distances for shadows. It's just an efficiency thing, and also it prevents hard lines on vertices from casting shadows, because technically it's not round, it's a collection of flat triangles, and if you put the shadows all the way down to its minuscule level, the triangles will cast shadows, and you don't want that. So you kind of have it ignore small contour beds. I'm not seeing any of those problems though. It looks fine. So I think we're good. She's smiling a bit too much. Wow. Okay, I'll keep it just normal surprise. I just like surprise because it's nice and easy. The animation that I bring in might change things. That looks a bit better. I'll pull it back, make her sympathetic. You're going to war, yay. Well, this is her getting like the whole job of being the like good, not good person, but like being directed to do good things. So during a war. Thank you for the follow, my alpha. Thank you very much. Twilight's happy. Oh, but Twilight, but yeeted. So let's see. What videos have I done in the more recent that have a lot of talking? There's the obvious one. Save that quick. And the it's not out yet, but oh yeah, I do want that folder. Side pie that might have a little bit too much mouth moving. That's a mare or a stallion that does cheese a dash. That doesn't work. Punching a fox, derpy keeping squirrels, attacking fox. That technically works. This is, I think we redid it with a new model. Yeah, but it's very extreme stuff. Oh, Better Call Trixie actually might work. It's a lot smaller mouth movements. That might actually work better. I bet you it will. Nice thing about having that RAM fix thing now is I don't have to keep quitting the software if I want to change files. That was always so super annoying. I think that was under anthology. Saul, yep. That's why it could work. Problem with a lot of those is Sci-Twi's mouthing is about big and explosive movements. It's kind of not what I would want for this, but this is on the newer model and it's a lot more normal mouth movements. I think this should work pretty good. I might have to remove some of the twisting because the twisting were about certain motions of the head to go along with it, and that might not work. So I think this will work. The complex part though is the lip syncing is split between multiple bits here, so I have to merge them. So I could probably even use her motions too. That would be really useful. Let's try and do that. So first off, this is how I usually do it. There's no lock on these. So I'm just going to copy, go to this one. There's no Trixie there, so I'll go to this shot, Trixie. This one does have a lock, but we're just going to unlock. And we're just going to paste. And then I'm going to go up to this one, but I want to go past it because it's not, there's nothing in that shot anyway. Go to this one, this one, paste. Does the next shot begin here? Copy. Have to make sure to unlock. I did that before. When I did the share animation stuff. What is that ceiling? That's Cheez-Its! I use the exact same ceiling tile for the Cheez-It. I love it. It's a Cheez-It roof. I hope it doesn't rain. It was drop tile. I hope it didn't have rain in it either, but I like the Cheez-It roof. Okay. Copy. And then go to this last one. Trixie unlock. There. That should be, if we export this. I'll double check any of the shots with Trixie in it that they did show unlocked. Okay. Oh, no, not that. Export. Animation. Oh, why is it out here? I made the mistake of I couldn't remember what my main drive was when I came back over, and I named it E drive, and I've already had stuff assigned to E. Not realizing that I was actually Q on the other one, and now I have a lot of problems. I had to redo a whole render because it rendered to a nothing drive. SM doesn't care. Thank you for the resub, Clatter, for 13 months. A good old baker dozen. Thank you very much. Double sandwich too. I went to the wrong drive. No, wait, no, that was the right drive. I just gotta get through these. Nope. Yes. Oh, this is DMX. Videos. What would this one? Better Call Trixie, I think I called it. Do not have a folder for that one. Okay, and then this is going to be, okay, what was my naming scheme? Argo, video name character. Okay. Because it was a public thing, I put my name on it. Because I'm going to put my name on it. Make sure not to save. Okay. Going between files, I think, caused a problem. She had a stroke. Needs ponies, but I only see tree on screen. There's the 4 behind her too. Hello? Oh, okay. I was like, hello? Where you go? Those are clearly middle children and don't count. Says a middle child. I'm a middle child too. Yeah, that looks a little less derp. I think Fluttershy, I don't think it was in the other video, but I know like moving sometimes between files, sometimes things get crossed. Yay for going unnoticed. Yeah, in our family, we had like 2 groups of 2. So I have 3 siblings, and I have an older brother and older sister, but they're 4 years and 6 years older than me. And then I have a sister that's like a year and a half younger. So there's like 2 groups that are about a year and a half, 2 years apart, and then a 4-year gap between the 2 groups. So yeah, when I was in middle school, it was all about the kids that were in high school and all that stuff. Then when they went to college, they were about the kids in college. But I don't think it was, at least for our family, much about the middle child. I think it was more about those 2 groups. It definitely felt like, in many ways, that the 2 older were focused on for a bit longer. So you're not a true middle child. Well, yeah, I'm middle of 4. Out of 4, I was a third of 4. But it wasn't like out of 3 and you're the literal middle. There's 2 middles. But it's, like I said, it's more about the 2 groups that it kind of felt like. Let's load in a Fluttershy model to load it in on, and then I'll copy paste from there. I do not want to include the tail. Well, no, I probably can. That's fine. Also, these flexes, nice to have, but are kind of trash. For instance, if you have any clothing. For what? Oh, that's the base one. Wait, no. Okay, I gotta go to this one. Yeah, if you have any clothing at all, you get this. Because it's a flex and not a bone, it means that it doesn't affect clothing. And so while it's a nice feature, it kind of breaks down in many, many uses. I would have preferred just having the same thing that's doing the chest, just give me a bone. It's a little annoying because small movements like that normally kind of collapse because of the like rounding errors. But there is that one thing you get where the toggle log thresholds, where it will actually make it so that you can start playing with those smaller decimals without issue. And as long as that's toggled when you're working on something, it shouldn't be a problem. It's more of an issue of so even if you open a file that had small like values that were rounded, and with that, it's fine as long as you don't start touching it until you re-enable that again. It will save those values. It just will round them immediately if you touch them in any way. Is Nisky the baby in your family? Yes, she's the well, I wouldn't really call her the baby at this point. The difference in years between everybody in our family is like 7.5 something years. So it's not like when I was in school, one of my friends, he was graduating high school, but his parents were retiring, or were retired. Yeah, I think they were retired by a few years. They had 2 kids, I think it was, and then they waited like 20 years before having another. So when he was 18, his siblings were going on 40, and they had kids, and their kids were in high school with him. So in his high school, his nephew went to class with him. That's being the baby in the family. You always found it fun when in class be like, this is my nephew. And then he'd be like, this is my uncle, even though they're the same age. It's weird. Super nice people, though. His parents were wonderful. All right. So I think it's just disconnect root so it doesn't go flying away. Everything else I can just import. Yeah. Feels like I'm missing some stuff though. So that's only the first shot. Did I have it selected when I did that? I think I did. Boo, I gotta go do it again. Well, I didn't save it, so I gotta actually recreate it again. You were the spare set in case the main set exploded on the launch pad. I guess that's one way to say it. Okay, so copy. Let's make sure we do it right this time. Probably don't need all of it, but if I'm going to make an export specifically stating that this is like everything, I'm going to make it so that it's everything. I can definitely use this again in the future. The mic's in front of my copy key, so I don't know what I'm clicking. Okay, copy. Unlock. Right up. No, I'll go a little bit before. Okay. Okay, so now this is everything. We're gonna do export animation. I'm gonna go on scripts, DMX videos, Better Call Trixie. File is 398 kilobits. If I replace this, 1,000. All right. I take that as it did its thing. I'll probably need to actually restart. It did that thing before. I assume it's going to do it again. Anyways, how's everybody doing? How's your week going? It's actually been, wow, Sunset, you've had to murder so many people recently. Malevolent Jail? That's a weird name. Being that I didn't have audit this week, it's actually been kind of nice. It's not as chaotic. I had a 2-hour meeting yesterday with all the people that were in the audit to go over all our not the findings from the audit, but we call them OFIs, opportunities for improvement, stuff that were not official findings, but stuff that we considered important enough that need to be fixed. I think there was like 7 findings, but we had like 52 or 53 OFIs. There was a lot of problems. So it was actually that 2-hour meeting went so quick because it was important that we get all that stuff together, because it was going up to senior leadership to review, to figure out what they're going to be doing about that stuff. It's actually a pretty good stout. It's thick enough. Oh, I was like, what's going on? It's thick enough. I like it. Peanut butter. All right. That looks better. All right, we got all the Better Call Saul stuff. But the one thing it's I'm not liking is it makes her look more assured in everything she's doing. Okay, don't really need that one. I can technically, like at the end, I can probably have her with the hoof up, but there's nothing that makes it get to the hoof being up unless I like merge with like this part. No, that's where, okay, there. But then she's gonna be spending half the video with her hoof up. Michael would like that face. I think if we grab just the beginning and can't use the end. I think most of what we're going to just use is from here. I think what I can do is slow it down, take some parts where she just stops talking for a little bit and like looks around. I don't think I'm going to be able to use this 100%, but I think we can use most of it. So for one, she can't be looking like right now, she's kind of looking sideways. Don't want her looking sideways. I want her looking forward. Up through this bit. She does have a bit where she's does look forward here. I have to be a little bit careful on that. But overall, the average is, I would say, probably right at the beginning. So we'll just do that. So this is forward. Are I talking about you again? Yes. Yeah, and then somebody came on, that malevolent jail guy, and he was talking trash about you, so we banned him. I'm so inspired by this animation. I worked with ChatGPT to come up with a war speech for Fluttershy if she does, if she were to take a leadership role in Wasteland. Posted in Discord stream chat. Oh no. Oh no, that's so long. I don't think I'm gonna read that whole thing. 7 moons ago, or maybe it was more. I'm sorry, Ella's got that. Actually sounds Fluttershy, which was, well, very nice. But then we kind of blew it up. That was not very nice, and now we must fight for what's left, and that's okay with you. Wow, it actually goes Fallout and went like full like a ghoul in the back. Kudos, it actually is doing pretty good. We can fight them on the beaches, so not that there are any left. The radiation sort of melted in them into glowing sludge, which we'll also fight on if we have to, if that's okay. It's actually pretty good. We will fight them in the fields, or where the fields used to be before they got cratered. But I think that's still a patch of grass over there by the old Sparkle Cola factory. So we'll fight there. We'll fight them in the stable tunnels, but quietly, because, you know, rad roaches. We don't want to disturb any pony. We shall never surrender. Well, I mean, unless they ask really nicely, then maybe we could talk about it. Steel Ranger. So let's go there if that's okay. So be really assertive with our enemies, politely, but also with explosions. That's surprisingly good. That actually had some like decent comedy to it. Oh yeah, I just had that centered. I like that you were inspired to make Fluttershy's war rally. Okay, if I adjust that, does this still work? Kind of. In a speech, you would be looking left and right, but I can make that adjustment. This is why we need 15 AI. I'm gonna guess that's still not up. Oh, it doesn't even. Oh, used to autocorrect. Nope, still not up. So, at my work, we're having to do a transition to the new SharePoint stuff, and it's requiring because of we're like there's like multiple levels down, however their stuff is labeled, and basically like I'm within AS, and that, but then AS is within DS, and so all of our new SharePoint sites have to go DS hyphen and then something. And so because we don't want to have like, if we put DS hyphen quality, that would imply that we're at DS level. So we've been putting DS hyphen AS quality. But we have like one group that is like supplier quality. And so when I went to type that in, it would have been DS hyphen ASS Q, which would have been DS ASQ. And I'm like, maybe we don't want to do that. But then we had supply or software quality something is SQA, and it would have been DS hyphen ASSQA. So it would have been AS quality assurance. And I have to talk to my boss about if we want to change the naming sequences so we don't have AS on a bunch of our SharePoint sites. The little things that waste time. Okay, I don't want to go to that animation. But if I go to here, now extend this out. Okay, so that I think is a good speed. I think her head going down is a little much. Michael running late tonight? No, he said the other night that he had a scratchy throat. Now he thinks it's more than a scratchy throat. So he is just, as he said, playing it safe. So I thought originally that we could just like do other horsey stuff that he would be really jealous about, but then he would probably run down the stairs and cough all over me. So I was like, yeah. Maybe just turn her head up for this, or this goes a little high there. Okay, that actually turns out pretty good. If we kind of go from here to do a little bit like that. That's too quick of a little jump or something, whatever word I just said. Okay, so your little head nod here, right here. I'm going to smooth that out. Seems a little bit quick for Fluttershy. That should be fine. And there's a little bit of a, like, right, yeah. It's just right before it, like right here. That needs to be a little rounded. That looks fine. Michael grabs Argo's face in his hands. How dare you have ponies smooching without me? Hack, hack. Pneumonia again? No. I don't think he got... No, yeah, he did get pneumonia. I'm the one that had it for like a month and a half. He's the one that took fish pills. I just recently got the bills on those. That was fun. I don't know why x-ray scans were like 30 bucks. I thought that was like cheap for an x-ray. All the other stuff was cost more, but I was surprised that the x-ray was pretty cheap. I do want her to kind of at the end here, like reach a point where she's not talking. So we can probably slow this down even a little bit more. Our head's really turned down here. No, that's probably the neck. Yeah. No, it's not. Well, I'm not seeing like a... Oh, it's the neck moves forward, so the head goes down then. Ah. Okay, I can kind of clean up that stuff at the end there. I think this could kind of work. Oh, okay. So after the game yesterday, I'm now noticing that it is now very washed out. So that game must be just running something weird. Let me fix the video. Yeah. So that was what the game is running at. I had to change the settings to make it visible. This is what it actually should look like. Nobody said anything about being washed out? What? Let's fix now. Actually, think about that. I put it in Discord, but I got lucky today, and I got a I got selected for getting the a 5080 through the NVIDIA verified program. So I was kind of happy about that. They only give you, I think, 48 hours to fully purchase it. And the moment I got it, I went on there and there was a line of 300 that were waiting, and I had to wait in line. It was like 20 minutes, but like, apparently they don't want to have too many processing at once. Kind of makes sense. But it is on its way, and apparently should, once it ships, be here in 2 days, but who knows when that ship date is. But kind of happy about that. I've been wanting to get a 5080, and I had a Discord thing I was on that would notify you when ones became available. But because I'm in a server rack, it's a 4U, so if Big's graphics cards get only about that far from the top. And the problem is most of the like 8-pin power cables I've had to put in bend pretty good, which aren't really a problem with the current spec of power cables, but the 12-pin power cables that the NVIDIA card's on are not meant to bend. And so I'm like, well, if I get one of those, they go straight out, it's going to hit that top and I'm gonna have problems. So the NVIDIA ones, the FEs though, are at an angle. So that means I shouldn't have that problem. It'll be much easier to get it in there. So I've been waiting for an FE. Also, they're cheaper because, oh my God, they were expensive for getting like some of the like specialty versions get up to like $1,500-$1,600 easy. Ugh. Okay. So if I go to Fluttershy here, boom. Now she should be talking. Okay. It's actually, oh, that involves the eyebrows too. That's handy. She's got a little bit of a dead stare, but what I need to do, front, she's got like a little bit of a wobble here at the beginning. I probably need to have her, do I have her walk up at the beginning? No. I'm thinking I'm just going to do speech the whole time. I'll figure out something for the beginning. She eating that microphone? Oh, yes, she is. Actually, no, that might be fine. When she goes to do that, I can have her turn. I think I need to get some more animation from her on this. So, let's go back to our base. It's just a lot of it's going to be like move down. Wait, actually, where is your other stuff? Did I already get rid of it? Boo. I've already copy pasted it over. Let's just import again. No. Okay, there was the bit. It does, but okay. I think she does a lot of pointing in this one. I actually might be able to use this part. Yeah, let's see if, like, at the very end, I thought I was more wanting her to, like, not, because she could be like, and these people behind me type thing. I don't think she says anything like that, but it doesn't have to be the exact words of this individual speech. I'm guessing that speech was longer in some parts. So, whatever. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, and this probably should be slowed down a bit. Oh, that's weird. A little slower. I can speed the hoof up on its own, but that should be pretty good. Hello, Karina. How's it going? We're doing horse. Oh yeah, I'll just do everything here. I guess when aren't we doing horse, but okay, the back leg slides a little bit, but I think that's perfectly fine. It kind of just blends right in there. So now I can move it over here. She can start right with talking. Maybe like there. Nope. It's got to be closer to here. It's going well. That's the response I normally give. Adam here usually says, as like, how was your day? And I always just say a day, because I'm not one to like go into detail about my day. And also, generally, most of the times when people ask how your day it's been, not gonna say everybody, it's because they generally just want to talk about their own day, and they're just using that as a method to get you to talk about your day, so then you can feel better about asking or talking about yourself. So I've had way too many people that do that. It's just it's a type of bait. They won't ask how your day was unless they have something to talk about. Then they'll ask specifically. And so I'll just say a day, because then they still don't feel right doing it. Maybe me being a little bit of a dick, but. So I'm gonna ask how are you? I reply with I'm awake. Yeah, I'm awake. Breathing. So I remember seeing something once where somebody said like, how you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm doing real bad. I'm not doing too good. They're like, you have broken the covenant. You are supposed to say, I'm doing great, or I am fine. There is no other answer. It's a courtesy. It's basically the same as saying hello in a nice way. Could be better, has been worse. Yeah, this always feels like an out. And most of the times people have their ups and downs, but you have good days too. And you should celebrate those. Not just be all like gloomy and doomy. I want alcohol. I have whenever we do like board game meets and people come over stuff, usually people bring alcohol and usually one can of whatever's left over. And we just have a fridge full of random cans of stuff. So this is like a peanut butter stout, chocolate stout. They're pretty good. I want to eat the good days. Days? Don't eat days. You can't eat days. Am I not allowed to cry? Oh, you can cry. But you better do it by yourself in a corner. No, it's perfectly the whole thing of like be a man stuff. Like, don't repress your crap. Hello, bed without sheets. Love the name. It's homework time, and I need ponies. We got 6 ponies on this one. Yeah, we got 6 ponies. If Fluttershy is giving a speech where apparently most of the people that came to listen decided being behind her was the best place to stand. It does a little bit of a... I don't want that wobble. Oh no, socks! I forgot that was there and it kind of worried for a sec. There's so many socks. Look at that. They're trying to get to Fluttershy. They want to put the socks on the Fluttershy. What is this good days you speak of? Is it edible? Oh, okay. That's where that came from. No, everybody has good days. And you should recognize that. Maybe they're not as good as some other days, but you can have good days. Like I considered Saturday was a good day because after the whole audit thing, I had a very successful, good week. And then I spent the entire day playing Monster Hunter because I finally got to like have a full day of nothing, and then made hot dish in the evening, and which I love my hot dish, and so I got to eat my hot dish and then go back and play more video games. It was really nice having that day off. I liked it. So we all have our good days, and cheers, Patty. Fluttercrusher wouldn't be gone bad if they had more socks. Michael would probably say that. I feel like that is a very Michael thing to say. Somebody's got to be Michael while Michael's not here. I'm still looking forward to next week. Spring break. Ooh, that sounds good. Because I can have a whole week of off days after working for 2 weeks straight. No, that's good. I think I am big on get all your work done, everything you can, like before you're going to have some time off to enjoy it. Like I needed to get color swatches because we're having a room painted, and I needed to get a haircut. But I could either do that Saturday, or I could just rush around and do it after work on Friday before stream. I chose to do that. So even though I had a busy week, I chose to just make it busier for the and get to some of that stuff done, so that Saturday I could just have nothing. I am big on trying not to procrastinate, but it's more of I don't want to procrastinate if it will impact my free time. So if I need to get some stuff done to make sure I have as much, or to maximize the free time, I'll do it. Just realized your YouTube channel is from 2006. Yeah. It was a very different place then. Did I start post? I think my first video I posted though wasn't 2006. That was when was it? I don't know if everything's visible. I think so. I did have to remove a bunch of stuff because of copyrighted audio. It wouldn't let me do some certain things. 13 years for that one. So that would have been 2012-ish. Yeah, it was within a year that I started doing the other tour stuff. So I had that account for many years before. Where does it say what year does it say it on my channel? I thought it hides it somewhere. I'm not sure. I need to get a new trailer. This trailer's old. It's old as stuff from 2014. Scroll? Scrolling. Oh, the scroll on this screen. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I was 22. I graduated high school in 2003. So, yeah. That was a long time ago. 2006, like, what did YouTube even look like in 2006? I think it looked like MySpace or something. It was a very different time. Should celebrate next year. 20 years of being on YouTube. It's going to be a year and a half because it was October. Yeah, when YouTube was Flash based. I guess that's one way to put it. Okay, you need to update your channel introduction video. Have Argo OC mimic your convention picture. Holding the coffee cup, introduce the channel. No, I thought about doing some custom thing for it, but it's not worth it. I kind of would prefer just kind of like I have now. It just, most people just do a compilation of just things that they've done. And it's more of a, less of a trailer and more of just a highlights reel. I had originally thought about talking with Knightley about making it, but he's apparently still been busy. I haven't heard much from him. You're old. At least I spelled right. No. Yeah, I'm 40. But that's fine. Like, when you're in your 20s, it's kind of like, oh no, I'm getting old, this sucks. But then when you kind of get to your 30s, things hurt a bit more. Maybe, or like if you bump a knee, it's gonna hurt a lot longer. But mentally, I feel like your hormones, your everything in your body just kind of starts messing with you less, and you get a little bit of a clarity on life a little more, and it just feels like you just feel like you understand things more. You're a little bit more open on things, and you're just less of an, like, having that asshole youth part of you. I like being older. You can be my father. You're 20. See, I mean, you've already like shoved the knife in. I just keep twisting it around. No, that's fine. I am happy with my age and the generation I grew up in and everything. I mean, I wish that the world were a better place with like all the financial problems, housing problems, war problems, but every generation has those problems. It's just different when you live through them. How was the 90s? That's just a very broad question. Are you gonna be my brother? Oh, maybe because I am, but okay. How was the 90s? I think some of the fun or the interesting thing about thinking about the 90s is that when I was growing up in the 90s, we would go on, like, say, road trips, and my dad would always have control of the radio, and so he would always be playing the music from when he was growing up, which was generally like the 60s and 70s. And I mean, I love that music and I don't have any problem with it, but I think back now, in the 90s, that was anywhere from 20 to 30 years old. And now in 2025, the music I grew up with was from the 90s and 2000. And so the equivalent now of people listening to music when I was growing up is the same me thinking of what was oldies back then. And that kind of puts things in perspective. You're like, it doesn't sound like oldies, but it's just because it's from my perspective. I think the big thing back then too was internet. The internet really didn't, and we didn't really have any general internet in our house until like late 90s. And even then it was just 56K. So it was like instant messaging, AOL, images would download super slow, really didn't do anything with Flash. We had computers, but it really was no internet. So your connection with people was still phone calls and I mean, a lot more in-person interactions. I was actually talking with a auditor not long ago, and he was talking about how, I can't remember what his reasoning was, but how some of the new generation is screwed with our current, how everything is going today. Not in like a bad way of like they're the problem, of the things that they're going to be growing up into are the problem. And he was just like, they're just screwed. And I said, the biggest issue I actually see with a lot of people that are growing up now compared to the 90s or before is there was a study done a long time ago that stated that at the maximum, and though it's going to be an average, the human mind can only really maintain a close social interaction or ability to be close with somebody up to 150 people maximum. In some, again, all people are different, but it's somewhere around there. But it means that all of your friends, all of your family, all your acquaintances, the people that you can have on a first name basis and you can interact with is about 150 maximum. But it's better to keep that number even smaller. Have your close group of friends, your close group, whatever. I feel like a lot of the generations now are being pushed so hard with social media and this instant connection to everybody to have huge friend circles of like, you're going to be interacting with so many more people in so many more levels all the time, to where you're giving up a closer connection with smaller groups of people that I think that we're kind of built for having a what do you call it? Like your village, your small little village of people. Instead, they're just so used to everything being everywhere that we're going to start losing some of the close connections because we just are so burned out on trying to maintain so many connections. And I think that's going to be my fear for the people that are younger growing up like now. It's just losing out on that. I grew up in the time where I still see value in that, but at least I get the advantages of an open internet and open everything. But I still, when people send me random friend invites on Steam, I don't accept it. I like cancel all those, and I don't go on many Discord servers because I want to just keep it to like the certain smaller groups of people. Then it's the in-person community feel. Yeah, but I like the ability that you can have with the internet a close in-person community, but still being able to connect with that small community. But I think that people growing up now have been so around everything more that they are almost like programmed to have less of the small group and just more of the big group everywhere. Like getting lots of information from social media of what this person is doing. And maybe they're not close connections, but you're still maintaining like this web in your head of just how the whole world is acting at all the times. And you shouldn't. Like sometimes it's better just to shut it down and just deal with the small little village of tribal people that are around you. I didn't move my mouse for a little bit. Now we have cons. That's a way that I have some that I would consider to be not like close interactions with, but people that are kind of like somewhere in the middle. That's where I get to go and hang out with them. I don't really interact with them any time out other than at cons. And that's fine. I prefer it that way. I don't want to have it where I'm trying to maintain all those relationships to the same equal level. It just doesn't make sense. It's weird to get random friend requests. I don't get it as much as I used to, but throughout the 2000s, I was getting probably a Steam or two friend invite a day. I would get it like Twitter. Twitter, I had a lot of people trying to DM me. I had to shut off DMs. I think DMs are now open, but I haven't gotten any in a while. But at the peak of things in mid 2000s, I would just get DMs from all over the place. Usually start with just hi. Don't do that. Say hi and then provide something in context to what you're actually messaging about. It's just, yeah, that's just my concern I see with people going forward. I would say anybody born probably around 2000 and later, because that was where the market was already saturated with smartphones and easy access to everything. And I don't like social media. I have a Twitter and a Mastodon. Blue Sky. Didn't do Mastodon. But I did one post on Blue Sky. I don't really care. Twitter, I haven't posted on in like a year. I just don't, even though I'm supposed to, because when you run a YouTube and do stuff like this, you're supposed to do that stuff. I just don't like it. I don't browse Twitter. I don't doom scroll it. I don't like doing that at all. I don't have Instagram. I don't have any, I don't use Reddit. I use it for searching if I need to figure out how to do something, but no, I am completely disconnected from social media. Essentially. I find that a bad habit to have, but that's also just how I am. Somebody else is gonna be different. So if I ever send a DM, I should say, hi, here's a random DM. It's better than just a hi, because it's stupid. Like
if you said, hi, I'm looking for some help with this. Do you think, or this, I'm having this issue. Can you help out? I might actually respond. But if you just say hi, I will not respond. Not at all. Especially if you followed it up again a week later with hi. I'm not kidding. That's happened before. Hold on. I want to see if I can find one. I don't want to like out people, but it's just infuriating. Unless it logged me out of X or Twitter or whatever the fuck it is now. Why is there a big upgrade? Also, I don't like Twitter anymore because it's just trash. It's doing everything possible to just push so much crap on you nowadays. Welcome to your inbox. Okay, here we go. Got to scroll down a bit. Oh, you know what? I cleared some of this out. So it's not nearly as, actually, it only goes back to 2020. No, there's got to be like an inbox for like messages that I haven't responded to. Yeah, because I thought there was like 2 boxes. Oh. Well, maybe not. DeviantArt was the other one. DeviantArt, I would get tons of messages until I just eventually left DeviantArt because it's just trash. Hi, incomprehensible sobbing. Yeah, hi, I'm socially awkward, but that's what it is. And it's just some people just want to say hi, and I'm like, that's wonderful. Just doing a comment, please. I'm not going to go and talk with 100 people because then like so many people expect conversation. I did in the first year, I messaged people back on stuff because I thought it was neat, and then it got super out of control so quick. I think I want to have her look to the left, but she's already looking to the right, so this might actually be kind of tough. She's already looking a little forward, so that might be a little easier. Yeah, you can't understand, but this is fine because DMs to me are not the same as like having chat. Here's more like a conversation. DMs are individual conversations. I can't keep up with like 15 DM conversations. This is just a town hall thing. Town hall. This is so much easier. And it was because of the DMs of like, I'm getting inundated with questions of like, how do I fix this? How do I do that? That I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make a place where people can ask these questions. And that's where I signed up for Justin TV and eventually became Twitch. So, I'm comfortable with my status. It's just the text on the screen associate. You're a TSA. Or Tatsa. I like Tatsa. I'm just here to make terrible jokes. Boo. Yeah, I'll go. That's fine. Thank you for that. I'll take that. Not gonna say hi here. I just have terrible social anxiety, but I think that that's part of it. Like when I was growing up, we did have more personal interaction, and I think that that does help you interact with people more. But even now I found, especially since COVID and stuff, I'm becoming less and less wanting to do social, not with friends. I'm perfectly fine with friends, but like, I don't like going places and interacting with other people, like in an outside setting. I'm becoming less and less like that. And I think it's just because I do most of my stuff online now, and I'm just maybe losing that a little bit. And I think those that were raised into it are just going to be much worse, but that's kind of on the parents. Okay, it doesn't really work that well when from that angle. Looks like she was gonna scold somebody. Okay, that'll work, but I'm definitely gonna have to adjust some of it. Still need to finish reading Fall to Equestria. I got to the dragon fight and stopped. That's a good ways in, though. It's a good book. I definitely like it because it has an ending. Like, I like long series, but I don't like starting it when they're not done. Like, I love The Expanse, but by the time I finished it, the last book came out because I just started it. Like, the author of The Expanse now has a new series, but it's just one book out of 3 or something they're planning. It's good. It's apparently good. I just don't know if I want to start a book that doesn't have an ending yet. I'm one of the by proxy people, I think. Pony Bear proxy. I'm a Tatsa. Yeah, that works. Got my tots. Or what's what they call it? Where you develop a friendship with an online personality or just like somebody on a screen because of the certain person or whatever. But even though you never actually speak with them, it's a little different here because it's got a chat, but how was it? Para something? Parasocial? Did parasocial friends? I think it's something like that. Yeah, parasocial. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that before. Like a YouTube personality that's doing like podcasts and stuff and is more conversational. You can start feeling like you know the person and start feeling like there's like a friendship there. You can build up a fake kind of friendship. I have had that actually on some people that have messaged me and like maybe I'll meet them at conventions, but then I would just start getting inundated with messages like we're best buds. And I'm like, dude, no. I mean, like, okay, it was neat meeting you, but truthfully, I don't even remember meeting you because like at the old BronyCons, it used to be like just so many people would come up and I would just start getting all these messages from these people. And I'm like, no, please. I don't want to interact with you daily. I can't do this with everybody. And I've had to anger some people, but it just was tiring. And I'm nowhere near the size that some YouTubers are. And I'm like, I've had it before when I was at events where I'm like, well, I don't want to bother the guy. And I'll be able to somebody like, boy, you embarrassed to talk with him? I'm like, no, I just don't want to be another one of those people that goes up and bothers them. Like they're right there. They had a thing that they did and I watched it. That was great. I don't need that interaction. I'm not going to be that person. At best, the podcaster is playing a character. Yes, there's that too. What you are on screen isn't always the person you are in person. Most of the times here that's I'm not like trying to like wow people on YouTube by like going above and beyond and stuff. I'm not that kind of person. So I'm not that much different myself. If anything, it's maybe some of the stuff that I've done from here I've turned into normal real life stuff. I found if I'm trying to figure out something on the computer, like if I'm like on SFM and I'm like poking at something, I'll start talking to myself out loud, or I'll start using my hands because like as soon as I start trying to figure something out, I have to like it's like I start going into streamer mode, like it flips a switch. It's weird. Well, since you like questions, and I feel you have asked this question, but why do you not use the grid animator? Oh, like what do they call this? The graph editor. I don't like it. But I feel like when SFM was kind of first popping in, most people were in the camp of you used one or the other when it's not the case. If you're doing keyframes and such, the graph editor is superior. When you're getting initial stuff done, it is just better. I just never really liked it, so I just do everything in motion editor. It's what I've gotten used to and into using. But it's, to me, the clip editor or the graph editor is for getting your base, and then your motion editor is for smoothing it out. But people were such in camps early on. One of the both, yeah, and you should use both. That's the correct way of doing it. I'm kind of using it wrong, but I've learned how to make it work. Yeah, Even if you're not playing a character, you most likely act different around close friends and family. I act different around family, mainly because most of the stuff that I do, like I do 3D animations for a horse fandom. I tend not to talk about it much. I'll say I went on trips, but I talk about the things we did on the trip that were separate from the conventions. I don't really talk about it much. When my nieces and nephews were growing up, I did talk about it a bit more because they were into horse for a little while because the show was on at that time, but then they grew out of it and I just kind of stopped then too. It just, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Just, I tend to be a little bit less, I don't talk as much nerdy stuff because they don't understand it. So why even bother? The best ones adapt the practices of a cult. Leader first attendant, inner circle, outer circle, and then the scrubs. Yeah, I've watched some stuff on cults and I learned well. I think I gotta go for this eye position. Oh, she's gonna sneeze. She looks so angry when she comes over here. I can fix the eye stuff, but I gotta fix her quite a bit of stuff. When she's going from here to here, I definitely need to bring her head up. She's like eating that microphone. Okay, her head needs to dip a little bit here. It was connected weird and I didn't have a quite like a full motion here, so that's why it looks a little goofy. Okay, not involving neck. Margot is leading a cult confirmed. If I was, I'm doing a really bad job of it. Like I mentioned, I'm not big into social media, so I don't even really use Discord that much either. So I made a Discord channel and I don't really talk on it too much. I do post on it here and there, but I tried doing it for a while, but it just wasn't, it's not my thing. If I have something interesting to say, sure, but I'm not one to go on there and just like talk about random crap. Yeah. Why is Derpy cute? That is a Michael question, though I'm pretty sure he wouldn't even have an answer to it. My favorite part of Big Derp is that music. There's something about that music that's just so perfect. Every time I hear that music, it makes me laugh. Oh no. So they're trying to get the Fluttershy. They want the Fluttershy. I love how this is going over the camera too. That's such a stupid one. I love it though. That sounds like me, to be honest. I usually don't talk to people unless I have something to say. Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. Like, so if I have a really boring week that nothing much is going on, like I'll talk to my parents. Maybe I try to call them every week, but then if I don't have a week that really nothing happened, it feels like I call and be like, so how you doing? Nothing's happened. Like there's no updates, nothing fancy. But compared to some people my age that have like kids and like all this, I have a very boring life by comparison, but I like it that way. I'm seeing a tongue clip. Okay, that's a little better. It was kind of weirding me out that the tongue was clipping. I don't think it mattered on the Trixie one because you couldn't even see it at the right angles. Okay, well fixed. All right, I'm gonna go be the intrusive thoughts of a VTuber. Have a good night, Argo. Good night, Brony. And actually, the one nice thing I have is I'm not a on camera YouTuber personality or anything too, and I think that's what helps for some VTubers. Is as soon as you start showing your face, it made like conventions harder. If nobody knows your face, then you can wander around a little more. Even if your name's on the badge or you're wearing a shirt with your name on it, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be a lot slower. I tend to talk to anybody. My parents were both friendly and outgoing and would strike up conversation with complete strangers. I learned that habit from them. Good habit. I mean, I'm not going to go walk up to random people and start talking to them, but Brony conventions were actually great for that. The very last night of BronyCon 2019, when we went to the concert, I had a few drinks in me and I'm like, let's just go talk to people. And so I would just sit down with people and I refused. Most of them recognized who I was, but I refused to have them talk to me about anything. I wanted them to talk about themselves. And I got to have some really fun, interesting conversation with random people. I think we did it for like 4 or 5 people, like groups, because it was like people were kind of split up, like during the concert, just kind of chit-chatting, and I just randomly sit down and be like, you can tell me to leave if you want to, but otherwise tell me who you are, where you're from, and like blah 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 blah. And I actually had some really fun conversations. Usually people don't like if somebody walks up and talks about themselves, but all you do is ask them to talk about themselves. Usually goes pretty good, but alcohol helps. On the flip side, I'm a good listener enough and will listen to others when they want to vent. See, I'm not good when people want to vent. I had a bad, I blame it normally on a relationship I was in like a long time ago that had somebody that was emotional dump on a lot of stuff. And I tend to not like it if people want to use me as a vent. Like to tell them about things are wrong, or if something is drastically wrong happening in their life, that I'm their lifeline, because I got screwed so many times on somebody saying one thing and then something not happening and making it look like it was the end of the world, literally, that I can't. And so if somebody's like in an end of the world situation, I'm like, I can't. I can't. I feel like my body is stopping myself. It's one of those cry wolf situations, and somebody cried wolf enough, and now my body says, no, don't. It's not worth it. It needs her. Oh, actually, that should be fine. Okay, I think the only thing I have a problem with is at the end here, she just looks so angry. And also she just closes her eyes here. Can I just slow this down just a tiny bit more? Just to see if I can cut her at like this part. I'm a little like when she goes down like this, I'm a little bit more concerned about this angle. I might need to turn the camera up a little bit. Oh, but I can't. Oh. Where am I processing? Oh, I turned progressive refinement off. I definitely will have to optimize the lighting for this shot. I was just worried that while she's talking, like these guys would be too visible. But they're blurred out. They're fine. No, that actually reminded me, I had that off because I was having difficulty rendering the socks thing. And I got to a point of blue wasn't working because it was making the blue socks like be a problem. So I tried doing it in purple, thinking there's no purple socks. Well, no, then it actually just caused issues with both blue and red. And I could choose which one was broken, but it still forced one to break. So I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I've had a situation like this once before. So I rendered out a second version of this video that just looked like this. I basically turned off progressive refinement because I needed it to hit 1080p, and this was like 15 minutes before stream was going to start, and I wanted to get it done and so we could have Michael listen in. And so I just did this, turned off all the lights, but kept the background lit. And then I was able to use this as a mask. So you can turn, I think it's called a track mat, I think, and it will let you turn a one layer into the mask of another. So I use the key light on this one, which I definitely can't have any problem with the key light now, to get rid of the purple. And then what was left was just the hoove covers, and that told the other file which ones to mat over, and it worked, or make transparent. Then it didn't have any issues. I would rather still just use the key or the key light, but it's an option. So, okay, I see where that works, but I really do like this angle more. Is there a way to, maybe I can't really lift Fluttershy, because then it would cause a problem on the other shots. Can I adjust how low her head is, or can't put her any closer because then it's going to have microphone issues. Oh no, actually we can fix this. I move the microphone further back, and I move, I have to move her forward. I can't have, there's too many like specific lights to lighting up this thing, I think. And oh no, I don't have it on this shot. Okay, maybe not. But, does that help? Is the podium too big? No, it's the right size. But then I didn't know that with my 3Xs. I gave up on dating back in my 30s. I only attract the broken. So it's because I'd actually listen to them. No, my first X was fine. I kind of broke that one off when that was kind of on me. I guess I don't know why I did. I can't even remember back that far. I just feel like I was just young and stupid. The second one was the crazy one. That one, literally, you can use the word crazy, but I'm not saying it like it's like, oh, they're crazy. No, like more literal. They had some messed up stuff with them. They could be super nice, but they also were psychologically damaging to those around them. Not a good person. I don't want to say not a good person because they don't even realize they were doing it. They were a victim of things that happened to them, and in doing so, it messed up the way they interact with others. Okay, I think that does look better. I wonder if zooming in a bit more would help, because I do have a little bit of empty space on the side. It's going to be transitioning right around this point. I think it's doing pretty good. I think I'm going to have to definitely like, I think these eyebrows here need to be adjusted to not be like what they are. We're going to get rid of squeeze is not going to be on there. We're just going to go in. And from here to here, and there. A little bit more on the surprise, and probably bring it down a little bit. Okay. Is anybody here planning on going to any conventions this year? I think we've kind of locked down the ones we're going to. I think we're only going to 2 this year. Yep, I'm going to Babs too. That I think we're all locked in on the. I've been to Babs a few times, so I thought I'd at least go there last year. Haven't been there for the last 2 years. Yeah, we normally go to Winnie City, but Winnie City's are skipping this year. Though my concerns are, though, they were skipping Babs this year, or not Babs. They were skipping Winnie City this year so they can focus on Cider Fest and try to get the Cider Fest stuff done much earlier, so they don't have as much stuff doing last minute, which is really rough on everybody. We are 4 months past Cider Fest, and just a couple months away from where Winnie City would normally be. And I still haven't heard a peep about Cider Fest, which leaves me concerns that their extra time is being spent just being used as extra time and not actually getting stuff done. It could be that they're getting just stuff planned and locked in so that they can have deadlines put into the future of just when to get things out. Maybe. Like, I guess you don't want to advertise a convention too far ahead of time, but like, let's just take a look. I'm not logged in on there, am I? No. I just want to look at Ciderfest's Twitter and see when was the last time they posted anything. Because they're not good at social media. They don't build hype. Oh, well, it's actually recommended at the top because they're the only ones I actually do anything with on Twitter. Why are you not opening anything, X? Oh yeah, because you run by a moron. Okay. Just a black screen. Alrighty then. Okay. Well, I would take that as no idea. But I'm a little concerned that they're going to just not actually utilize any of that extra time. Maybe they're having a DDoS attack. Oh, then that's fine. I'm happy for that. That's great. No, I think I'm concerned that the Ciderfest is not going to actually get things done. If they got rid of the con, that means they should have everything done 6 months early so that they can start on Winnie City and just start rolling out the other stuff. But because they said they don't like working on 2 cons at once. They like to have one done, then work on the next. I'm not seeing anything and it's months away. So my thought on Ciderfest is if they take that, get rid of Winnie City 1 year, they're going to bring it back next year. And it allows them to actually get their act together and their timing and everything together. I'm so fine for Ciderfest. If they canceled an entire event and in doing so got nothing extra done and still ran into the same problems, I am tempted just to not go this year. Because it's just, last year was fine, but I really want to participate more in the conventions. And I don't want to participate with the way that they do things now. They're managed in the background, not in the way that from a person that wants to provide content wants to have things done. From the front end, from the people that are there and participate, great. Con's great. They do great. But it's just such a chaotic mess. And I'm not the one doing the work for the convention. Like they're doing tons of work and they're running into those problems. They don't want to have to deal with them. So they're hearing me say that probably like, we're doing the best we can. Yeah, but now you gave yourself the buffer. So if there's no improvement now, then it's not just like outside of your control. You gave yourself the control. They've only reposted stuff from other people through part of January, but nothing about Ciderfest 2025. They're not going to have information on the next con, but you should be still trying to build, put stuff out. TrotCon's been, the reason that TrotCon has been as successful as it was because the memes. Ciderfest is overly professional for an event, especially for a group that's just a bunch of memers. They need to be posting more. They need to be providing more information about things. Right now, it's all just, let's do Throwback Thursday. Here's a copy paste of some message that feels very much like the ones we've done every year. And it just doesn't feel like any interaction. It just feels like billboards. And that's not how social media works. They're bad at it. In general, where would I go to even know the Ciderfest exists? Like how do you grow as an audience? There's lots of places that you could go to put that information out there, and they're not doing any of it. So instead of every year, you're always going to have like some people that just don't show up the next year, and you have to have more people come in to try to take their place. But if you're not providing any information out there for people to actually even find out about your event, how do you, when your numbers go down or up, how do you explain it? Where do these if numbers go up, how, why? You should know that. If you don't know why, then your event's going to suffer. This bugs me. It's just a little bit of a weird eye delay here. And I see all that from the perspective of somebody that has no idea how to do social media too, because I've already mentioned I'm really bad at social media. I know how social media should work. I just don't like it. I don't like posting about stuff like that. Posting on social media as a YouTuber is about self-advertisement, and I hate self-advertising with a passion. I hate people hand waving me saying, look at me, even though they're supposed to and they have to, and that's the normal thing. They should. I just don't like doing it. Yeah, if there's no advertisement, the con will fail. I saw that happen to a sci-fi con in my hometown. The just went all on everything except for advertising. The con flopped hard. Yeah, it's like you can go off word of mouth, and it helps. We used to advertise the crap out of Cider Fest. Every con we went to, we talk about, hey, you should go to Cider Fest. You should go to Cider Fest. And the amount of people that went because we talked them into it is probably in the 3 digits. Like, we did it at conventions on stage. We did our damnedest to try to get people to go to Cider Fest. But I think they thought that was like the number came from all those, but those events are slowing down. Less people are just going to talk about those events because it's one thing when it's brand new, but it's another when it's already been out for like however many years. Social media is a good way for things to be shared so people can see the event posted about stuff. There's banners on, I don't know how many people actually use Equestria Daily anymore, but Equestria Daily, Derby Brew, there's ads types. You can probably even do YouTube ads that are going to be targeted to people that do horse stuff. So yes, those things cost money, but that's advertisement. And yeah, I guess that event isn't going to have much money, but get with YouTubers. There's people that make videos on stuff. Don't just invite them to your event. Ask them to put out a video, like maybe pay them or work out a deal where they can get like a free hotel room at the event by making a promo 6 months beforehand, something to like get people on your channel to go and know about things. It's the things that advertisers have been doing now for like a decade, but conventions are still acting like they got to just go off word of mouth. There's so many ways to do these things. And there's so many people that are willing to do free work. Shouldn't, but that are willing to do like free work for stuff. And just, I don't get it. I think I want to do this. Needs to be delayed with the eyebrows. And we're going to do the clothes. Okay. And then eyebrows down a little. Oh, it looks better. Dankla Pony Push wearing socks, and just see how many flaming hoop Michael will jump through to get it. Would the pony be on fire? Because he'd probably just be sad. He would not jump through any hoop. That requires Michael like jumping. This would be a good time of the year to do it though. Everything's mush outside. We had all that snow and then it all melted and like every step outside, especially after today, because it'll like freeze into ice in the top layer. And then during the day it was like 40 something, so it melted again. And then it's just mush. I bet it's supposed to be like 70s this Friday. Is it still 70s? 73. Immediate rain. Because I thought like, oh, if it's 70s, maybe we can do like a bonfire. Nope, it's gonna rain. Yeah, then right down to 50 again. 64 Thursday. It's unnaturally warm. She needs to have her eyes open a good bit wider here. She seems happy. Okay, this, our eyes are way too far at the edge here. Let's go down here. Nope. I can't have them go down, but I'm going to have, oh. I already did down, but I have to do a little more. But I have to bring it to the, one to the right. Oh. It's that slider. Okay. I'm on the left side and I'm dealing with the other side, and that's why it's getting a little weird. Hope that's too much. Okay, that'll lock in, but then I think I need to do even more from the right, but over a longer period. Oh no. Left, right needs to be spread out. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Still not a fan of right here with her talking, just because that microphone's in the way. I'm wondering if I just yank back her whole head. Still in the way. I don't think I can prevent that. It's just because the camera shifts into position that makes it easier to cover. Actually, that looks a lot better. At least you can see it above it. Maybe a smaller mic. No, it'll be fine. I could put it just lower. But now, before she was talking right in the middle of it. Now she's above it. And I think that's fine. But is it going to be out of focus? No, not really. It's a little creepy. If you just watch this one over here, it just looks like it weirdly zooms in. And do I have the music with this? Yeah. I feel like it probably could be useful to slow her down a little bit, but it's just well timed right now, and I just don't know if I'm going to care enough. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with it. So this is going to have two different lights. One is going to be for camera far. Oh, you need to go away. Boom. And the other one's going to be for camera near. There's also going to be lights that I don't know how lights are going to interact with the audience. I don't think I need to do like I did in the other one though, where I need like before when I had the full audience, like moving and interacting. I don't think I need to do that here. This camera, for how fast it's moving along this edge, if somebody's not moving, you're probably not going to really tell if, and with how the lighting is set up anyway, you're going to be looking down there anyway. So I think I can probably get away with it. Let me check. When they talk about the auditorium, I want to see like, what do they say for how many people? I'm sitting on stage, more partially the pony whose eyes I was seeing through. It was strangely like being paralyzed with looking through a crowded auditorium in a large and rather nice indoor theater. Many persons in the crowd were engaged in conversation, but that was before she started talking. Many of the crowds were engaged in conversation with a low, summer overlapping voice filled the room. Everything was slightly muted, not a focus. That's because she was looking at where they weren't looking. I want to look at the walls of the auditorium. I had a distinct impression they were not wood paneling, but rather actually formed from growing trees. I'm using wood paneling. I think I can get away with that. Concentrating on elderly, but yet adorably cute. Yellow Pegasus. The pony stared at the floor. She walked, is afraid to make contact with the crowd. I'm just looking to see massive speaker system, magnified her voice. Okay, so it is going to be a packed crowd. But if I remember right, the moment she starts talking, everybody shut up. Yeah, Pegasus squeaked, seeming surprised at being so abruptly the focus of attention. It dawned on me she didn't have the assertiveness, blah blah. So, yeah, so it definitely means I have to fill the whole thing. I am a little less concerned about that now because of the RAM thing. The people that are on the stage with her, are they, what is this camera moving too fast? I'm thinking it might be moving a bit fast. Let's try infected ponies with the tree transformation virus to use their tree corpses to build your ministry. Yes, we shall build hospitals from the corpses of horses. My question is, do I need these two or these four to move in any way? Can I get away with them being stale? Because for how fast this camera is essentially moving, there's really not much motion you'd be able to even see. I'm able to see Fluttershy moving. That's understood. But I wouldn't be able to see much of them moving. I think the most I really have to do with them is just make them blink. And even then, like once this camera zooms in, they're just heads. It's fine too. I can get I don't need it. So, all right. So I just need them to blink every now and then. Where is stage horses? Okay, so there we go. Let's pick some random time. That should be fine. Okay, and then Anything past this point's not going to matter. So all you have to do is really pick the first half and add a blink somewhere. Apparently they don't have the same. They don't. Whale. Different name bones. Okay. Which means I have to double render a few of these because these are VN models. Boo. And there. Applejack, we experience a major shortage of timber for wood construction. No worries. We have an overabundance of orphans. They're not children anymore anyways, so. They just make tiny trees. Because the tiny trees are fine if you just have more orphans. Okay. Now I have to do one other thing before going too much further. Her tail is going to be all over the place. Cheeks, no jiggle. Ears. They wiggle a little bit, but I think if I just take these two, just do like a half smooth, that'll be fine. All right. And then her tail, the way I see it when it comes to Fluttershy's tail is this part's dragging in the dirt like 24/7. So if she's just standing still, it shouldn't be moving. So everything from essentially here down shouldn't really be moving. So I'm going to lock 3. Looks like I'm shooting missiles. And say that when she turns like this, that's already far enough past where we're not going to see the tail anyway. So yeah, that's easy. So we're going to playhead this, not all the way, just very much most of the way, so that it looks like it's still like wobbling with. But then we're going to go to tail 4, or no, tail 2, and I'm going to say which is the best position. I'm going to say here. No. We were at the beginning. We're going to lock that too. We're only going to play with it like halfway. And then we're going to do tail 1. Lock it. Same thing, only a bit of the way. All right, no, wait. Okay, no, I can probably make that work. Okay. This should kind of work. The intent was to hopefully make it so that the tail would kind of move a little bit more with it. But this is fine. If anything, this little end piece is probably wiggling a little too much. Let's see. Yeah. Like, I think this actually looks really good when she does the full motion thing. But it'll work for what I need it to. She also doesn't look like she's moving very much at the very beginning. She kind of has that like dead stare. I want to just adjust that. You murder Michael and put him under the floorboards. Michael said that too. We have floorboards, but I don't think we fit Michael in there. I just realized her eyebrows do not have a blink right here. Oh, I think I added that. That'd be why. Okay. I think that was the only eye close I did. Okay. I think Fluttershy's emotions are pretty good. I'm feeling though that somebody's going to have a different headcanon on this speech of who is behind the stage and who was watching what the stage would look like, but I'm only going and I feel like, yeah, you could go to the author and ask them. They probably would get back to me, but I could, but if it's not written, it's for interpretation and I can interpret it however I want. Okay. So let's figure out that lighting now. So I feel like I could try to save some of these lights between either, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I would consider this kind of the not smart way is I'm just going to group these and just be like shot 1, and then I'm just going to paste all of them again and just do shot 2. Trying to break out which ones will be used by both and which ones aren't. How is it not? Oh, the lights aren't on. I was like, why is it not yelling at me? Oh, these are all over the place. Because like audience is not going to be needed for the close-up shot. That's not going to be needed. Just going to save processing. Emblem. Yeah, just delete the emblem one. Where's the other emblem light? Oh, these two. Those little like curtain rims, don't need those. The lights on these horses aren't needed. Michael, I'm not dead. Niski, shut up. You will be shortly. I feel happy. I need to go and do the textures for that. Monster Hunter's been kind of my like addiction for right now. I've technically beaten the game. I just do it end like post game stuff. It looks like it's, yeah, floor ambient. I don't need that. Yes. 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 I think yes, anyway. You do not need that anymore. And probably not that one either. Nope. Okay. So surprised this is the easier shot. All right, so my problem with this lighting right now is it's super bright on the front of her face to a unneeded degree. So like that one's probably fine. This one, I could probably actually get rid of both of these. What if I just decrease this one's brightness a bit? Not that one, this one. No, because I need to keep her still bright. I'm trying to reduce that bloom a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'll just add a little bit of rim lighting. Yeah, because like having that little light brightness on her neck there is pretty nice. Those are fairly strong point lights, but I'm wondering if like this one, smoothing out that shadow a little bit. Yeah, I feel like that maybe not so smooth. What's the one causing this little line on her nose? Not that one. Okay, and now it's easier to see. It's this one. Ah, so this one's shadow as well. Okay, so if we just put it to like that. Oh, now her whole face is like super bright. Is that because of this one? No. Because of this one. Yes. It's like here, she's super bright. Part of that's the rim I just put on. But why are you so bright? Don't encourage drinking and driving, but it's definitely a sentence that shouldn't have the word but in it. So I like having that rim, but as soon as she turns her head like that, it just makes her face explode. I am seeing, so that's what I was talking about with some of the weirdness on the textures. I have to be careful about. So there is a little bit of like a pony hickey. But actually might help here too. Like there, it's bright on her face. Actually, you know what? I think I know what's wrong here. She's really bright. The podium isn't. It's just something seems off in the brightness. What I'm wondering if we can find a way to balance some of this stuff and make it work a little better. Like there's the implication on the far shot that there's a lot of volumetrics going on, but then when you actually look at this, you're not seeing much of any. So, so what if we did that? Not noise. Volumetrics. Actually, you know what? I'll keep in shadows on this one. Oh, that's probably a good idea. Cheers, Nolan. Okay, it's getting there, and I'm starting to see the volumetric. But I want to have the oh, this isn't Uberlate, is it? Nope. That's why it's not working. All right, a little bit more intense. In high school, I was always designated driver, even though I only had a permit. All my friends would either be passed out drunk or puking out the passenger windows. Ah, to be young and stupid. Okay, so move this light a little bit here. It doesn't have to be exact the other shots. Just needs to have something. And here, this is a little bit quick of a cutoff. Do something like that. I'd have her go past her, but not much. Like she's kind of taking the light in. Okay, that's one of them. Now we're going to put in a new light. This is going to be corner volumetric. So this one's whole role is to just sit in the corner and make the corner brighter. Like it's kind of giving some like, or just blind the hell out of Fluttershy. It's gonna be a little wider. Min increase like there. Max to there. Cut off. Yeah, it's just going to try to give that feeling that that corner is really bright. Still think she's still too bright, but that's helping a little. I'm a little concerned. It's not gonna be like that in post, but with all the lights, oh, there isn't. I probably should do that. There's not any light difference on the podium. I probably should figure out what that looks like on the larger shot. Here, before moving further, because it's brighter, but it's a really dark wood. It probably needs a light specifically for it. I did hit my limit. Okay. So this is going to be podium light 1. So this just is going to be a light just kind of hitting at the top of this. She's getting plenty of light. I just need this to balance it off. I need to darken her little symbol there. It will. I don't want any of this light hitting her face, but I want to make sure it actually hits this like podium and stuff. Too small numbers. There, that's a little easier. It's gonna hit her eyes. Only way to fix that is with doing an angle like that, which I think I'm hitting her nose again. Just by a little bit, but I don't want to make it look like it's hitting this specific spot and not really the other parts. I wonder if instead of like one light here, I need to do two. Like do one here and the other on the other side. It might be easier. Still hitting her face. Just don't like how sharp of a line that's giving. Is that hitting her face? It's hitting her eyes. Ooh. I knew this podium was going to be kind of a bitch because it was so dark. And I tried lightening it up and I can't really do it. I think I just need to have like, kind of just do it cheap. Do something like that. Yeah, that's not actually too bad. Because I hit her face. Teeny bit, but I can manage that. Yeah, that blends better. And it's a little weird that it's dark in there, but I don't know if I want to care enough on that. It makes this too bright. But if I really needed to, that's not too hard to... Yeah, that's just this one to fix. It's already darkened. I could just do that. I wonder if there will be a sequel to Pacific Drive called Atlantic Cruise. Within that universe, no. Because the whole purpose of it was that it was an anomaly that happened because of a test that within the Pacific Rim or the not Pacific Rim, but the Pacific Olympic, was it the Olympic peninsula or something? So they would have had to have another experience on the Atlantic side. I think it would be neat if they did a sequel to have some expansion on some stuff, but to try to keep it within the universe they created, I don't know. I think I checked the studio. I don't think they put a thing out on it, but I think they sold 1 million copies or something. Like they actually ended up coming out and saying like, this actually ended up being a success, which was always good to see. When good games succeed. Okay. Not a big fan of how this podium looks when you're up close with the light, but we can better control the light here. So this isn't going to happen until like later in this part. But what we can do then is probably keep these two, but we're just going to dim them. I don't want to have it be like a drastic change in brightness between them. What I can do is bring it down to there, but then just copy one of these, paste it. Oh, that is what it is. And try to get a little bit more nuanced in how we are doing our lighting here. More than likely, the best way to do this would be to make a very thin light. Keep it a little soft. And try to focus on just the top edges. And these will be easy to cut off. There we go. Oh. Yeah, those are hitting her eyes. Only way to fix that is to do shadowed or There's another fancy thing you can do with lights that can kind of fix that issue. But I don't think I'm going to solve that here. I think it's just going to be requiring maybe multiple lights or maybe just a sharper angle. I can't see the top. So it went on. If I do the sharper angle like this, does it hit her eyes? Nope, in the bottom of the microphone, but I really don't care. Oh, that's solvable. There. I'll also double check that I'm not accidentally hitting her eye somewhere. Like when she goes to move or something. It pleases me in many places. Oh my God, that was nearly 3 years ago. What am I doing with my life? There's a Twain. Kind of thinking somebody might have been on the tracks or something, because they held that horn a long time and then did a few more pulses after that. So I'm thinking somebody must have been doing something they shouldn't have been doing. Never heard them hold it that long. It was like a good almost 7 or 8 seconds of the horn being down. This is just a little brighter. Okay. Okay, so that now lights the podium more correctly. It still leaves me thinking that her eyes are too bright, or her body. So now at least I know that that is a problem. I could brighten up these even more, try to make it glow, but I don't think that's what I want to do. Well, that's just the... Wait, what? Oh, there it is. Like, what is this doing? It's not actually doing anything. Oh, I think this is the original volumetric. Or it's just off. Okay, it could be that too. Yeah, I think I just turned it off. Okay, so it's mainly this shot that I want to get dumbed down a little bit. This isn't helping. This is probably the main one, but it's not even hitting the left. Because that's a little bit more balanced. You could probably dumb this down a little bit. Now that looks decent. Does it look decent from all angles? I think it does. The one that is, I think it'd be really annoying here is technically I should light her eye. This is a very bright shot and it should look like no, we're here first. Oh, I should open up this. Oh, I think it's just so bright right now that it doesn't know how to smooth. There it goes. Your eyes should look more like... Oh no, no scoots. Bad scoots. Just came in last minute for that one cookie. Yeah, like this. It's not much of a change, but between this and this one actually looks like she's getting a light reflected in her eye, and actually, to me, it really helps balance that light out. The annoying thing is there's nothing that I can do to connect a light to the eyeball. You can technically lock it to where they're looking, but that only works if you don't use up, down, left, right, which I do. And because these eyes have set barriers, those barriers get in the way too. So the only way to do this is to manually do it, which is annoying. Especially since I'll technically have to do it twice. But it's not that bad when you lock it to the head and then you say like this is the good position. Like, I don't know where it was before. It's, yeah, like you say, this is the good position. And then you just move frame by frame. And like when it starts moving drastically like this, you just start moving it down with it. It's just going to require me to do that unlock for stuff. And I'll do that later. But I feel like that's going to be needed for sure. Okay, well, we'll be done anyway, so anything else I'd start would take too long. I have an update for Deep Rock. Why does it have an update? What is it? Do they have a big no news post? Sneaky. What you doing, Deep Rock? Something went wrong. Oh, you were bought by Elon. That's what went wrong. All right. Oh, cheers, Starfire. Could have that last minute one. All right. Let's see what we're going to send you guys. We'll be back on Friday. I don't know if Michael will be back because I don't know how he's going to. Oh, there's nobody on right now. Does anybody else have somebody they can recommend? Wait, a blue Skittle. I remember. Well, they're ending soon anyway, but I thought I might be thinking of a different blue Skittle. How many blue Skittles are there? Jeez. So I should be back Friday to work on some stuff. I don't know if Michael will be back. And I don't think we'll be finishing BioShock this weekend. I think we're gonna be having some time on that. Check Pony. I said, but we're done with the base game for BioShock. That's not a pony. That doesn't look like a pony. That looks like a pony. That looks like Pokemon. Like Michael's not here, and then are they just like, I know Drumstick, but just watching other people's stuff. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like those channels with it just let's watch other people's videos, things, live reactions. It kind of, especially with some of the ways people do the stuff like that. I'm not seeing any pony stuff. Is there anybody that's doing SFM stuff? I'm kind of curious on that. No. Why not?
No smooching.
Oh, it's Source Filmmaker. No. Why is nobody using this amazing software? Well, or they just didn't put it as a tag. Whatever. Nobody has recommendations? We don't have to send you anywhere. It's just like, I don't like sending people places if I don't know, like, what's on. Yeah, I'm kind of noticing that too.
No smooching.
I don't want to have them go there and suddenly they're like, they're weird and like aggressive. So I like confirming sometimes ahead of time. That person's wearing a hot dog though. That's kind of interesting. It was butt. Okay. Yep. No, we're done. We'll see you guys later. That's a Nolan thing to say. I'm gonna raid Bob Ross. I know you technically can. I am not a fan of how his estate has just sold his image and everything. As far as I was aware, it was not his wish. And then when he passed away, they just aggressively made money on him, and I'm not a fan of that. Phoenix Redtail? Who's that one? More free game. That looks like Pony. Yeah, we'll head there. It's gonna be, well, we're gonna be like mid-song for it, but they look nice. Actually, it kind of reminds me of was it Jin? I think they basically have the same model in VTuber everything. 5-hour stream. 5-hour streams are so long. She's an artist. Ah, okay. She's playing games right now. But anyways, yeah, we'll see you guys on Friday. Have a good week. I might have a 59 or 5080 by then. So bye-bye. Oh yeah, thanks Mayafa and Clatter. Sorry, I just missed those.